Alright, hey, what's up everybody? So, today we're working on the 2010 Ram 1500 4x4 once again. So, in the last video I was talking about the whole splines on the stub shaft coming out of the differential were shot, and as you can see, they are chewed up pretty freaking bad. So, this morning I got my new wheel hub in, went ahead and purchased another brand new CV axle, and purchased our new stub shaft. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out how to get this little bastard out. And from what I could find online, you either had to have a specialty tool, or you had to take the front diff cover, which you can see right there. You had to take that cover off, lose all your diff fluid, and then air hammer that stub shaft out. Well, that is not the case. If you are unable to get your hands on the specialty tool that screws onto the end of a slide hammer, there's another way. But for those of you that would love to have the specialty tool, I went to the dealer this morning. So the specialty tool, which is this little guy right here, I believe it is a dealer tool, so it might not be available to us. I've seen several links online through Google, and all of them said out of stock. Now, this is a 4-piece little tool. It's got 2 half pieces that clamp on to the stub. So it's got a little ring inside of it that sits down inside of this groove that is for the CV locking ring. And it's actually what holds the CV axle onto this little stub. So if you can get that little ring off, which mine came off fairly easy, you can use that tool. You put the 2 pieces on, and then this little collar slides over it, and then you can thread your slide hammer into the end of it, and then proceed to just beat the fuck out of it till it pops free. I did not have that option. No one locally had that part or was willing to let me borrow it. So what I did, I went to Harbor Freight. Let's see if I can find the box again. I picked up a little 14-piece slide hammer puller set. It cost me $26.90 something with tax. Okay. So in that little kit, it comes with the 2-pound slide, a couple of these little legs. There's a short set and a longer set. So what you need to be able to do this is you need to put the longer set onto your slide hammer. Alright, so see where I just put that little stubby. Okay, it's over here. This will make it actually a little bit easier. So this is how your stub would be orientated if it's in place. You can actually see the new one right there. And sorry for the poor grainy background. Okay, now there you go. Now you can see it. So this is how it's orientated when it's in your diff, if you're doing the driver's side. So what I did was I got my little slide hammer here. I had to go out and grind the ends down because the little jaws were a little too thick. So I got it to where it's a bit hard to do this with one hand. So I got it to where those little claws would grab a hold of that groove. So then I'm trying to hold it with my hand and get it to stay on while I try and, beat it out. Well, that wasn't working either. So I remembered I've got one of these little 2-inch C-clips, or C-clamps, that I got from, once again, Harbor Freight almost a year ago. So what you can do is you can slide that clamp over those legs, or your claws, you tighten it down, and it will pop right out. Mine took me 3 hits, very light hits, using that little 2-pound slide, and it came loose. Now, if your spindle is still in place, that little slide hammer is going to sit right in here. So you're not going to be able to pull that stub shaft all the way out. But once you get that C-clip that they have on here that locks it into the differential, once you get that past, you take your slide hammer off and you can pull this out by hand. It's really easy. And then for installation of the new one, you've got gears on the inside that those splines are going to mesh with. So I got it started. I got it to where it felt like it was meshing. And I took my little rubber mallet and I just tapped it. Don't go beating on it, forcing it, in case you're not perfectly meshed with those splines in there, because God knows you don't want to spend. I spent $35 for my stub shaft, but I'm sure it could cost more in other places. So I've got it in. It's locked in place. I have no lateral up and down movement. It's got just the very slightest in and out movement, which that's normal. That's going to be that C-clip engaging inside there. Alright, so at this point, I'm going to pull the spindle out of the way. You might already have it out of the way, depending on if your CV axle is still in or whatnot. But for me, I had my CV axle out because I cut it out yesterday. So pull this nut right here, which I believe it's a 21, no, not a 21, 18 millimeter, maybe. Let's see. Okay, maybe it is the 21. Not the 21. All right, maybe it's this one. I've got so many tools. Okay, 7/8. It's still just a little bit loose, so I'm assuming it's probably a 19, maybe a 20 millimeter. You'll pull your tie rod out of the spindle, and then that'll let your spindle just drop kind of down out of the way. And for those of you that are wondering, the brake line isn't completely tight. I do have my caliper resting on that bucket just to kind of keep it out of the way. And I would recommend that if you do tackle any portion of this job, whether you're replacing the stub shaft or just putting in new CV axles for whatever reason, replace that little lock ring. That's what's in position right here. Your CV shaft slides over that, and that little ring locks it in place. There, you can get 2 of them for around $11. That's what I paid for them. So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video off here, get this truck together, and hopefully not have to worry about this anymore. Alright guys, until next time.